Hi, and welcome all. High or low, butcher, baker, tall or small. I am Grimnir, and this is the Grimnir Gate. Hi all, and welcome to Thorins Hall Inn. We're just relaxing and celebrating our victory against the Dour Hands. In the cozy warmth from the fireplace, we're knocking back a few pints of Bombur Beard lager and discuss anything or everything that comes up. So I bid you welcome to this week's Tavern Talk. Before I start with my own thoughts, my dwarven friends insisted on me conveying at least one of their favorite jokes, just to lighten up the mood, as they said. But remember, I take no responsibility for the quality of the jokes. After all, they are dwarves. So, first one from Captain Nirgrim, and to my surprise, himself in the main part. A horde of orcs are searching through the hillside for towns to pillage when the chieftain spots a lone dwarf standing on a rocky outcropping atop a nearby hill. The dwarf yells as loud as he can, "I am Captain Nirgrim, and I dare you to send your best warrior up here." The orc chieftain points at his best warrior, and off he goes around the outcropping. The dwarf jumps down, and the sounds of battle are heard. Seconds later, the orc's head comes rolling down the hill. The dwarf climbs back up and yells, "I am Captain Nirgrim, and I dare you to send your two best warriors up here." The orc chief points at his two best warriors, and off they go. Moments later, there are sounds of battle, and then both orc heads come rolling down the hill. The dwarf climbs back into view and yells again, "I am Captain Nirgrim, and I dare you to send your 10 best warriors up here." The orc chief waves, and his 10 best warriors run up the outcropping. After a few seconds, all 10 heads come rolling down the hill. The dwarf climbs back up on the outcropping and yells, "I am Captain Nirgrim, and I dare you to send your 100 best warriors up here." The orc chief motions, and 100 orcs charge up the hill. The clash of weapons starts ringing down the hill, and dozens of orc heads starts bouncing across the ground. Eventually, one orc comes running back down and starts screaming, "Boss! Boss! It's a trap! There's two of them!" Okay, that was some dwarvish humor. Thank you, Captain Nigrim, and don't quit your day job, as they say. Back to the tavern talk. It's gonna be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and today it's gonna be a little bit about me, Grimnir, and why I am playing Lord of the Rings online. This old game that the young hooligans of today might feel is a bit outdated, but of course the main reason, and I think this applies to many of the players, is it is Middle-earth. It is an adaptation of his work, Tolkien, and it's like he wrote the beginning and the end of the most read epic fantasy in the world. And like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, when I grew up, like in the 80s, uh, books were one of the most common sources of experiencing alternative realities, so I actually read everything I could lay my dirty fingers on by Tolkien. I think I read Lord of the Rings when I was 12, maybe 13 the first time, and I kept up doing that on almost on a yearly basis until I was maybe 20, 25. So, like the thought of a real life movie adaptation or non-animated, of course. I liked the Ralph Bakshi's animated version, but it was not finished, I think. But the thought of that was far away, and a computer game of any quality was unthinkable, at least with today's measures. So, I played my first games on a VIC 64 or Commodore 64. So During the years growing up, I had to find my fantasy in other medias, like music was a big thing, Blind Guardian, Summoning, and of course a lot of classic pen and paper role-playing games. But that was until Peter Jackson came along. So when I heard about him making those movies, even though I only had seen that Brain Dead movie, the splatter movie he made in 90s, maybe 92, I felt like, wow, someone is finally trying to do this impossible project. And even if some hardcore Tolkienists didn't like everything with Peter Jackson's adaptations, I loved them. The main reason, of course, was that you could see the people and places come alive, and you got a feeling for the atmosphere that felt true to Middle-earth. So after that, when the announcement, in 2007, now I am a grown man, of course, they announced the release of this game, Lord of the Rings Online, I felt, wow, what more can I wish? A second dream come true. So when I started playing, it felt like they had made a real good job doing the atmosphere and the animations and the characters and the mood for the game. So I have kept on playing it off and on since 2007, and I still like it a lot. It's like coming home when you log into the world, and it's not necessarily all the power game and stuff, even though I am a grinder at heart. I like just to visit it and feel the mood, the atmosphere, and they have an amazing adaptation of all the places and persons. I think that is the main reason people come back to it and are a bit loyal. And I hope it will stay live, even though people always talk about, just a few years in, people started talking about this game won't stay alive for long, and it still is alive. That was the Tavern Talk of this week. Hopefully I will tell you some more stuff later on. We'll talk about everything and anything. So, signing off with another joke from my Hunter Nergrim. And this is a short one. So, take care, you all, and see you later.
So, why do elves have sharp ears? Well, there had to be some point to the bloody things.
Thank you, and goodbye.